Welcome to Public Safety Talk Radio, the podcast for all of our heroes in public safety, including law enforcement professionals, firefighters, EMTs, corrections officers, healthcare workers, and more. This show is produced by the POCUA and is founded upon its Soundness initiative. This episode is sponsored by Police Mortgage. Police Mortgage is a full-service mortgage company dedicated to serving police officers and first responders. Founded in 2008, Police Mortgage offers a variety of mortgage products tailored to meet the needs of those who serve and protect. Police Mortgage, for first responders who are second to none. I am Ken Bader, your host for Public Safety Talk Radio, and I have another great guest. Let me tell you about it. His name is Jim Lindquist. I got that right, didn't I, Jim?
Yes, perfect.
See, I didn't even frickin' ask beforehand. You know, I could have said Lundquist or Quest or something. Yeah. But I got it right.
I probably would have just gone with it, yeah.
You probably would have, yeah, but I'm glad you didn't have to. He is the Marketing and Sales Support Manager for Custom Signals, and Custom Signals have been serving law enforcement agencies with quality technology for more than 57 years. Have you made the 60-year mark then?
60 happens next year.
Okay,
so we are right there.
Well, then let's cut this now. We'll talk to you next year when we get to the 60. How's that?
Good. That's a good idea.
No, well, it's close enough to 60. So, Jim, welcome to the show, man. We're glad to have you.
Yeah, thanks for having me.
Hey, no problem. So, yeah, I did a little research on Custom Signals, and you're doing some great things for law enforcement. We always like to hear about that. So, give us kind of a rundown of, I think the biggest question is, an entrepreneur myself, why should law enforcement agencies look to Custom Signals first rather than some of the other competitors out there?
Sure. So, there's certainly a lot of competition, especially in the products that we're able to serve. But like you said, we've been around almost 60 years. Our average tenure here is close to 30 years too. So a lot of the people that have been working here have tons of experience.
Dude, you don't even look like you're 30. So,
I know. I work out a lot, clearly, and no. I've only been here 3 years, so I'm pretty new to working with law enforcement. I worked in software and real estate software before this, so it's been really awesome getting to do work that's more impactful, and the people that you meet in law enforcement are just second to none. So it's a great little switch for sure.
Good.
Yeah, but custom, by the way.
Yeah, go for it.
So one of the great things and one of the craziest things that, again, I haven't been here that long, is that you expect these older companies to just do the same thing over and over, or, kind of rest on their laurels. And we have products out, especially with some of our products and our competitors. You're looking at buying a radar. It's the same radar you could buy 20 years ago, or some of them that are selling a ton of, came out when Clinton was still president. Custom, though, we're always innovating. Our best radar, Eagle 3, when you look at it and compare it to everything else that's out there, it's like an iPhone versus one of those old Nokia bricks. We're always innovating. But the good thing is, though, in those 60 years, we haven't lost that kind of, old charm of good service and good quality products that, in a lot of industries seems to be lacking these days.
Yeah. I'm not a police officer myself, never have been, but talked to a number of them, and there's a lot of old Nokia brick type equipment that's still being used out there.
For sure.
So, what are the top 2 or 3 products that police departments are coming to you for?
So whenever we get a chance to show off our products, the things that people's eyes pop out the most is when we show them the Eagle 3. It's our in-car radar, has a LCD screen, has a full touch screen. Can't find anything like that. You can talk for hours and hours about all the technology behind it, but basic, it is so easy to use. My litmus test is if I can use it, then it's pretty dang easy.
Sounds like something I would say. If I could do it, anybody can. But go ahead.
if we throw an Eagle 3 in your car, you'll have it within a couple days. I've never actually seen a radar before I saw the Eagle 3, and it is really that intuitive, which is great, and it's good looking too. So what we also within the last year we've come out with our new video platform. We call it Argus. Luckily, I wore the shirt today,
You're
but
looking very stylish, by the way.
thank you. Yeah, it caught me on an off day for sure.
Yeah, maybe I'll send you a POCUA shirt. You send me an Argus shirt. I'll give you the
Deal.
shirt off my back. But anyhow, go ahead.
Yeah, well, wash it first, and we got a deal. Yeah,
I can do that. Tide Pods, man. Go ahead.
yeah. So with our video platform, and again, being a 6-year-old company, it's the hardware is obviously great, tough, and everything like that, but the software behind it is crazy. It's built with artificial intelligence, kind of as part of the backbone of a lot of those software features. But when we were developing it, our whole thought was, policing is changing. Unfortunately, society is getting more dangerous, especially for law enforcement, and we wanted to not only allow them to do their jobs, be out in the field more, focus on the task at hand, but keep them safe. So we've built in features like there's live streaming. So someone, back at HQ, if they need to figure out what's going on, you can look at every single camera, whether it's body worn or from the car. GPS tracking, but then the artificial intelligence will actually detect things like if an officer falls or if they're running or something like that, to go ahead and activate the camera. So that way the officer themselves doesn't have to worry, with a gun drawn, hey, is my camera working? They're just worrying about, okay, this is what's going on here. And then, of course, back at HQ, if they need backup or anything else like that, all those alerts are automatic.
Well, it's, some suspects will actually stop when you say, hold that, hold, I got to turn on my camera for this.
Yeah, I've heard a lot of those stories for sure.
Yeah. So what's the feedback? One of the things that I was impressed with in doing a little bit of research on custom signals and speaking to you is the innovation piece. And obviously, there's no innovation in R&D for law enforcement unless, it's you're getting feedback from the field. What are you getting back from the field, both positive and also some of the stuff like, yeah, you know what? If you could just do X, that would be really, really nice and make my life easier. Can you give us some insight into that?
Yeah. So the awesome thing is with working with law enforcement, you create just awesome connections and bonds. The other fun part is people in law enforcement tend to not hide their opinions about things,
What?
especially if, yeah.
You mean they're kind of blunt?
Usually, and I've only been in the industry for 3 years, so I might be wrong, but yeah, there's a bit of bluntness, which honestly, we appreciate. Our product managers, well, I guess I shouldn't speak for them, but sometimes they get an earful and then the next day it's, hey, let's go to engineering and, let's fix this.
Are you looking for a podcast to answer some financial questions? Well, then check out the Mortgage Beat podcast, brought to you by Police Mortgage, for first responders who are second to none. Mortgage Beat gives insight into the home loan process specifically for police officers, firefighters, and other public safety professionals. The podcast is hosted by Police Mortgage CEO John Aritos, who has decades of experience in the mortgage industry. Check out Mortgage Beat on Spotify today.
For instance, like with our Eagle 3, we are going out to agencies and they have other people's products and we're saying, why are you mounting your antennas outside? They tell us, water's getting into them or replacing these things like crazy. We've replaced so many, our warranty isn't even covering them. And then we say, okay, well, with our Eagle 3, it works through ballistic glass better than competitors. We have an electronic fork test, so it makes it easier to do a fork test without having antennas outside. And then we also have a fan learning algorithm too. We had some customers that were saying, hey, our fan speeds are so bad and giving us so many bad results. That's why we have antennas outside. So we've used software, ingenuity. People much smarter than me have figured out ways to fix, these problems. And, we don't have hours and hours, but you could go through all of our product line and just see how we've taken that feedback. And the whole thing we want to do is just make it easier for law enforcement to do what they do. And that's take care of their communities.
Sure. Sure. Yeah. It's take care of their communities and, obviously come home to their families safer or safely, I should say. I don't know if you can come home safer. I guess you could, but
Yeah,
can
if there is, we'll find a way.
can you give us an example of possibly a department or a law enforcement agency that you worked with and they said, hey, if you could just do X, or hey, you know what, this product sucks now, but if you could add this, it would be awesome. Can you give us an example?
Well, so I mean, the examples I just talked about, we worked with specific agencies, and I don't want to mention them here, but
No, you got to
they,
mention all of them, including names, social security numbers, everything.
yeah, I'll send those after the show.
Yeah, cool.
Uh, but I mean, we were going, and they didn't know about our products, or maybe they knew about our products 20, 30, 40, up to 60 years ago, kind of thing. And say, hey, this product I have, like for instance, we're getting lots of water inside our antennas. Do your antennas get water in them? And then our question is just, well, why the heck are they, on the outside?
Yeah.
Or, so there's a lot of, hearing those things, and some things we've already solved for. And then, there's some things too that, I'm sure the people smarter than me are working on that I'm not even aware of yet.
Nobody's smarter than you and I, Jim.
Yeah, I can make you feel good.
Yeah, that'll probably be something I edit out, but anyway, another one of my stupid jokes. But yeah, you offer a lot of products to first responders. You talked a lot about the Eagle 3. I'm assuming eventually there'll be an Eagle 4 or 5, 6, 7. But you might be the Eagle 3, but is there a specific product, you've worked there for 3 years that you're particularly proud of, and why is that?
Uh, and again, it's like picking your favorite child kind of thing.
Sure.
But the
But I'm gonna
Argus
make you do
platform,
it. Call it Sophie's choice, but go ahead.
yeah, yeah. So the Argus platform though is, and again, I don't develop the specific products, but that was one of the first projects that I had a lot of hand in, at least from the marketing side of things. And it's in a marketing sense, it's so easy to market because it's a smart product.
Yeah.
It does everything well, but there's really a noble cause behind it. And lots of people will say, we understand we're working for law enforcement, we want to help them out. But with the Argus platform, and we've actually looked at every detail and thought, if an officer is in this situation, does that, what could we do to help them out? I mean, so having like artificial intelligence is a huge help. But even we have a thing where there's an application the officer can have on their phone, because we were hearing that officers were spending 1 to 2 hours every shift back at base going through evidence and classifying it.
Yeah.
So what this allows them to do is, if they have a phone or tablet or whatever in their patrol vehicle and they're waiting between calls or whatever, they can classify their evidence, or they can even review evidence if they're out in the field, need to show a supervisor, or find out where something was discarded or whatever. They have it all right there. So we wanted to figure out ways to get them back into the community quicker, and actually out in the community versus having to stick behind a desk doing work.
Right.
And then on top of all that, the software in the background too, you can redact faces and important, information that needs to be redacted with just a click of a button. So our eggheads, I'll call them, have really thought through everything along the way that they can make things, easier.
Yeah. Yeah, no, I like that. As I joke with a lot of friends and colleagues, at my age, there's not much that, that gets me excited or or motivated, but one of the things that does is the intersection of entrepreneurship and innovation and law enforcement. And I think that's one of the reasons why I always like to start my year at the SHOT Show, because one of the places I go is that new product area, and I see all the cool stuff, and some of it is certainly about safety and for both officers and the community and so forth. But there's so many things, like you alluded to, that make the officer's job easier. And a world where I live in Long Beach, California, and we have a police officer shortage. And, even if they hire, say, 50 cadets, they're not ready to go out on the street until 18 months or
For
so.
sure.
So anything that, saves an officer a couple of hours in doing, admin work to where they could be out in the community, I'm all for.
Definitely. And you think about, the best officer, in a full agency, or, from an agency standpoint or a community standpoint, it's not the person that, manipulates their radar the best. It's not the person that turned their body camera on 100% of the time. It's, the person that is serving their community. So we want to, we want to get in there, but we want to also get out of the way for them. And that's what we try to do with our products.
Yeah. Yeah. In that spirit, is there anything that's coming down the pike at Custom Signals? Anything in R&D that you can actually share with us that the law enforcement community might be able to look forward to later in 2024 or early in 2025?
There is lots of stuff. I cannot tell you about any of it, or I won't have a job tomorrow. But I mean, just within the last year, our engineering team has more than doubled. We're working on a lot of really, really cool stuff, really innovative stuff. And while I don't have anything to share right now, if anyone is interested, just go onto our website. You can sign up for our email list. We send out emails all the time, or follow us on social media too. LinkedIn especially, we seem to share everything there quickest. But yeah, I mean, keep your eyes out. I know people are always coming out with things, but what we have coming up with probably before the end of the year is going to be really cool.
Awesome. Awesome. Yeah, and I can attest to, if I remember it right, I hooked up with Jim and Custom Signals through LinkedIn and got a pretty quick response. So officers, and especially, people with responsibilities of buying this stuff, LinkedIn is a pretty good place to find them. So is that the best place? Or, I think that, as we close up, if somebody's watching or listening to this and says, you know what, I want to hear more about the Eagle 3, or, I want to hear about what's upcoming for my department, or, I just want to talk to Jim because I'm lonely. How best can they get a hold of Custom Signals and you?
Yeah, if you want to talk to Jim because you're lonely, we can just give them your email. But yeah, I mean, one of the other great things about us and our sales process is our salespeople aren't just there to say, here's how much this thing is, do you want to buy it? What we want to figure out is, what does your department need? How do we make it easy? I mean, we even have help for people trying to get grant assistance for free. So, I mean, we do like a full solution. Let's figure out how we can help you pay for it, how we can help you install it, troubleshoot it, all that stuff. So if anyone wants to learn more, the website is obviously the best to, read, look at some videos. Reach out to our sales team though. Just say, hey, here's my problem, or hey, here's what I'm looking at. And let them, don't think too much. Let our guys help you out. We've been doing this for a really long time. A lot of our salespeople have been doing it longer than I've been alive. So yeah, just reach out to us and we'll help hold your hand and walk you through as much as we can. And again, get you guys serving communities. Don't worry as much about the paperwork and buying stuff and all that. We'll help you out.
I love it. And what is that website again?
www.customsignals.com. There's a contact us button, or you can there's a little find my sales rep. You'll find your new best friend from there.
Awesome. Awesome. And most people probably know Custom Signals starts with a K and not with a C. So if you're new to Custom Signals, make sure you put in KUSTOM. But Jim, love what you're doing, love what Custom Signals is doing for law enforcement, and really appreciate you taking some time with us today.
Yeah, thanks for having me and letting me talk about great company.
Our pleasure. Thank you again. And thank you to all of you who have either watched or listened to this episode of Public Safety Talk Radio. And we'll be back with you next week with another great guest.
Public Safety Talk Radio is produced by the POCUA. POCUA is a consortium of financial institutions serving law enforcement as well as other first responders and public safety professionals. To learn more about our association and to find one of our credit unions or service providers near you, go to www.policecreditunions.com. And always remember, if you aren't working with one of our POCUA credit unions, you're just banking with an institution that just so happens to serve first responders. As a public safety professional, you and your family deserve better. Find a POCUA credit union today.